Okay, I've got this is something we all have a problem with these days is aluminum evaporators and aluminum condensers. I do mostly refrigeration, and a lot of my a lot of the Hussman cases, for instance, have evaporator coils that are made out of aluminum. Heatcraft, the condensing units, they're coming out with the aluminum microchannel tubing, and I was worried about that. 2 years ago I sold a Heatcraft condensing unit. I think it was a 2 horsepower unit to a customer, and it came through with the microchannel in it. And in the past I've had all kinds of problems with aluminum coils. You just couldn't solder them. Usually the copper lines would go up to the aluminum evaporator and be a male-female connection and be epoxied, you know, and then they'd leak, and would be able to fix it, repair it. I've had evaporator coils and air conditioning systems go back in the 70s, a couple times, one on a carrier unit when I was young. I didn't know any better. It was in the beginning of my learning curve, and I was in the dark. It was the furnace room in this rich guy's house, and I found a leak on the U-bend on the evaporator coil, and I tried to solder it, and of course the aluminum tubing just disappeared. And I was lucky though. I got a copper elbow, 3/8 elbow, and a 3/8 street elbow, and some epoxy, and I put it together, made a U-bend, and I epoxied it. I wasn't in a panic, you know, and I got it to run. It got it to work. I sealed it with the green epoxy, but I wouldn't do that again. What I recently got was I saw this on YouTube. It was Lucas-Milhaupt. I don't know if you can see that. Lucas-Milhaupt makes these aluminum rods, aluminum brazing rods, and they're supposed to have flux in the center of the rod. I can see the materials bent around. It looks like flux in the middle of it. And this is AL822. I wanted to try it out. I haven't used it yet. And when I sold this condensing unit to this fella, I've sold a couple of them since then, but I was very concerned about it leaking, and it was a good customer, and I didn't want to have to explain to him that I sold him a coil with aluminum, a condensing unit with aluminum coil in it. I just didn't have any choice. But I had a supply house that had some Lucas-Milhaupt little rings that they sell to put inside of two copper fittings. You know, if you have a male-female connection, you can put the little ring inside of it, put the fitting together, heat it up, and the brazing material will come out. But that was for silver soldering. But I saw that they had this brand, so I had them order this for me, and I was going to try it out today. And first thing I want to do is clean it. That should be a fairly clean spot. I want to put a hole in it. That looks like a pretty good freon leak to me. Bigger than most. And try to see if I can. Now this rod has flux in it, so I won't have to put any flux on the joint. That's the first time I'm doing it, so I'm learning here. really don't see much flux. Well, maybe I'll try a bigger tip. It took more heat than I thought it would. Let's see. That got hot. Alright. That's why God made towels. It looks like it did a pretty good job. Filled the hole up. And you can see the other side, it seems to be filled up. I think I'd like to try another one. I'm going to try a larger tip this time. See if that has any. This metal's hot already, so aluminum will just melt away. Yeah, it's going pretty nice now. Look at that. Well, that was fast. I used a bigger tip, and it did a nice job. I'm pretty impressed. On back side of it, it looks like it did pretty good job. Let's see the I don't know if you can see that, but I'm pretty impressed. I think that would work. Now it's supposed to be able to, let me see if I can solder copper to this. That'll be the next thing. Okay, I got a piece of copper tubing. And I want to see if I can. Let's see if this will copper to the aluminum. Okay, that's a snug fit. Now, let's a little bit of a large flame though. I'm going to heat the copper up first. Take the heat. It went right on the copper right away. Look at that. It looks good to me. Oh, I'm impressed. I just brazed the copper to the aluminum. Let me pick that up for you and show it. But if you can see that, that's, I was able, and it took a collar. Let's look at the back side. Oh, it looks sealed. Huh. It's a piece of a kick plate to a, it was a meat case. It was a aluminum kick plate. Yeah, it looks yeah, looks like it'll hold gas. I'm impressed. That was Lucas-Milhaupt, and this is AL822, and it looks pretty good. I'm kind of impressed. I'm going to save this piece. I think not too many pieces came in here. It was only 4 pieces to this. I think it was $19, something like that. But it's worth it, I think, rather than having to change the whole coil. But I like to let me know what you folks think if you've used it before. But it looks I'm impressed by that collar. It looks pretty good. Yeah, it's holding good. Yeah, I'm impressed. It looks pretty good to me. Okay, guys. That's it for today. Later.